Let's talk about the 3 spending patterns of entrepreneurs and why they could be hurting your business. Knowing which of these 3 spending patterns you play into will be helpful, because then you'll be able to start making decisions in your business on purpose. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell button so you're notified every time that I post a video about success and entrepreneurship. It has been such a wake-up call for the entrepreneurs that I work with to understand which spending patterns they play into so they can start acting on purpose. Take a listen and let me know if any of them resonate with you. Diving right in, I'm going to go with the most popular. So the overspender. We all have that friend that no matter when money's coming into their bank account, it's instantly spent. They have multiple ideas for every amount of money that they know is going to be coming to them, and they just want it all. It's always good intentioned. It comes with this idea that if they can just buy the next thing or pay for the next software or take advantage of the next opportunity, then they'll find the success that they're looking for. But it doesn't always work out that way. They often find that there's no money left in their bank account at the end of the day, and money is always tight for them. It's always, the pattern that you can see here is that the money is always spent before it's even earned. That is what I call the overspender. And for obvious reasons, that can be a really difficult trait in your business. That's not to say that these businesses aren't making a lot of money and that the entrepreneurs aren't successful at what they do. They can be really great at their service or their product, and they can be great contributing members to the community. They just have really big ambitions. And this overspending can actually hurt them, because it means that sometimes when they want to take advantage of a new opportunity, they don't have the money in the bank to do that. They often find themselves stressed out because money is a little bit tight. They don't know where it's coming from next. But as soon as they find that relief, they're on to the next thing. It's like they forget the pain. This type can be very painful for those involved, watching kind of the roller coaster ride that happens, and coming up with a game plan so that you know that that's how you act, and being able to adjust for that is just such a game changer. The second money spending pattern is actually the sales chaser, which might sound counterintuitive because you're probably thinking we're talking about expenses. But with this pattern, we see all the money constantly being given away in ways that it really relates to this like scarcity mindset and the need to bring in sales. This business is one that probably had to kind of fight for sales early on. It's a pattern that was developed out of survival, of course, but as the business grows, you probably don't need to be taking on the same type of projects or giving it all away the way that you had to at the start while you were proving your worth. See, the sales chaser is all about overgiving. They overgive to clients. They're always very quick to give something for free for fear of being criticized. They are willing to take on any and every project that would make a customer happy, especially if the customer is one that's larger and might have a name. They're afraid to say no. And this type of behavior, while it may not be spending directly, you can see the spending pattern in the way that you're leaving money on the table. You're putting too much time into things, too much effort into things, and maybe not spending your time and money in a way that will make your business easier, more profitable, and really what you want it to be in the future. The common thread is that you feel like you're a slave to money in this case. And that can be really detrimental, because until you get out of that pattern, you don't realize that you don't actually have to be there. You very much are almost in that fight or flight state where every day you're worried and you're concerned, and that's really hard to leave until you take the steps to do it. Usually I see entrepreneurs in this state just finally say, like, enough is enough. I don't care. I cannot bend over backwards anymore. I'm done doing it. And all of a sudden it's just the most liberating experience, because as soon as they stop, they realize that that fight or flight, like fear-based mentality actually wasn't, nobody was knocking at the door. Right? So it wasn't the Grim Reaper. They actually find so much more success once they're able to get a handle on what do I do really well, and being able to say no to what doesn't align with that. So the sales chaser is a second money spending pattern that can really be harmful to your business. And lots of us do it. It's just also one that we kind of grow out of over time. If any of this is resonating with you, I would love for you to comment below on what type you think you are and how that shows up for you in your business. Okay, I saved the best for last. Money spending pattern number 3 is not what you thought it was going to be. It is the underspender. If you can believe it, underspending can actually be a big problem in business. This is the person who is constantly cutting expenses, and it can hurt your business in 2 ways. Number 1, you're spending your time cutting expenses. It means that you're not spending your time looking for new opportunities, creating partnerships, or taking risks on what might be next for your business. It also means that in practicality, you might be cutting expenses too low. You're so focused on saving money that it could be getting really hard for your team to execute whatever they need to do. Maybe they don't have the right tools or supplies, or the software they're using, because you went with the cheaper version, takes twice as long for them to do their work. So underspending can actually be a really big problem in your business. If you are able to step out of that pattern, you can look at things in a way where if you're making an investment, you're asking, what is my return? You can make that smart decision so that you're not spending, the way the overspender does, throwing your credit cards around at anything that comes up. But you can be making smart decisions about where money is well spent and looking at what your return is going to be on that spending. So you kind of have this balance. Ideally, we would live in a world where we've balanced all 3. We get to have a mindfulness to saving money where we can. We're not overspending. We are thoughtful about where we put our money to. We're not underspending. We're not so caught up in trying to save money that we're missing opportunities. And we're definitely not in a place where we're giving it all up just for the sale. That can be so hard to get out of any one of those 3 patterns, because when our mind is there, it's almost like we're on a hamster wheel, and it's really hard to get off of. But it is totally possible, and if you're having trouble getting off of that wheel, absolutely reach out. The link is in the bio for you to receive some one-on-one advice and help with that. If you found this video helpful, I would love it if you would go ahead and leave a comment. Tell us how this was helpful to you. And go ahead and subscribe so that you are notified every time I post a video in the future, helping you out with your small business and achieving success.